Hello and welcome to Fort Hays University, home of the Hays Indians. Joined here with my co-commentator, Sophia Jamino.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here.
It's
quite cold.
Yeah, we are freezing.
It's like 30 degrees with a 12-mile-per-hour wind. It feels like 25.
It's not fun.
Shout out to everyone, friends and families watching across the country. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
And a big shout out to all the friends and family that came out to watch this game here in Hays. I mean, it's freezing out here. Once again, it's freezing. I mean, I can't stress that enough.
I mean, it's brutal.
Yeah. So, anyway, let's talk about the game. I mean, Kapaun, of course, last time out won against Garden City with a blowout win, 56-0. That being their second straight of the season. First one coming, of course, against Dodge City.
Dodge City, yeah.
Which is another 56-0 win.
Both teams are 5-1, so this game is huge tonight for both teams to see who can get the best seed possible for the state tournament.
Yeah, as we take a break here for the national anthem. And with that, Garden City, excuse me, still stuck on last week's game, but Hays instead will take the field. Kapaun's still in the locker room, just
probably trying to stay warm for as long as possible.
Yeah, we can talk about this Hays team. Don't know why I keep saying Garden City, but I mean, they have a lot of stars on this team. I mean, on both sides of the ball.
Oh, well, here comes the Crusaders.
As we take a break here for Hays' announcements, as well as the Crusaders taking on the field. But I mean, I think, Sophia, this is a big game for Kapaun. I mean, other than Bishop Carroll, which of course was a very tough loss that ended on the final drive of the game with a fumble. But I mean, all the opponents that we face haven't really been competition to us. I mean,
no, but tonight should be a fair match, a good game.
Hays is another 5A team, the same record as us, I believe.
Yes,
5-1.
5-1.
Their only loss coming last week against Mays South.
They lost 20-21,
yeah.
So 1 point.
And that, of course, was on their failed PAT on the very final drive. But, I mean, let's talk about some of these Hays stars. I mean, we have people like Tucker Veach, who's a safety for them, and I mean has multiple D1 offers. Gavin Myers, who's only a junior, already has offers from schools like Louisville and K-State, as well as Nebraska
and Colorado too.
Gavin Hazelhorse, of course, their star defensive lineman, senior, has recently committed to K-State to play football.
And you can't forget about Dylan Drilling, who actually committed to Tennessee for baseball. So
Yeah,
multi-sport athletes on this team.
I mean, pitchers really usually translate very well at the quarterback position, which is what drilling is. I mean, it's just, I think it's just going to be a very good matchup overall. I mean, drilling, of course, has been quarantined for the past 2 weeks, but I mean, it looks like he's going to be playing tonight. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But
right now, Andrew Jamino and Ethan Stolzatz are getting the coin toss. Excuse me. Crusaders are kicking off to the Indians to start off the game.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, I mean, this is probably our toughest matchup of the year other than Carroll. And so, I mean, I think this is a very big game, not only for, playoff standings, but I mean, also see, what our team is made of and, just kind of see where they rank among the state's top high schools.
Of course.
So to see what happens as Kapaun is taking on the field now.
And it's exciting, the last regular season game. A lot of these boys have been playing together for many years. And
yeah, I know. I mean, your dad and
Coach Burr.
I mean, they've been coaching some of these kids since they were in pre-K, right? I mean,
yeah.
It's been a full 12-year experience with them. I mean, and it comes here. This is the end of night. But
quite exciting.
We'll see what happens. As Isaac Smith is on the kick for Kapaun Mt. Carmel. He's had a fantastic season kicking the ball so far. Still perfect on his extra points, and I mean his kickoffs have been amazing.
And we're off.
As his first kick is taken, muffed around the 2-yard line, but is recovered as he takes it up the middle.
Number 7, Jared Kanek on the return.
Tackled around the 20-yard line.
He's brought down by number 6, George Tralia.
So
at number 26,
Hayes will have a 1st and 10 now at their own 20-yard line.
21-yard line.
I mean,
Kapaun's defense is going to try to contain the quarterback tonight. Dylan, he's very good, and they'll just try to keep their wide receivers in front of them.
And it looks like Jordan Dale is in a quarterback for Hayes, with drilling behind him as they run it off to the far sideline. Kapaun is able to maintain that for a short gain, about 3.
Kapaun's defense staying strong, everyone swarming the ball, trying to get the runner down as fast as possible.
Will Doolittle and Brandon Burr, the first tacklers there. 2nd and 6 now for Hayes.
Man in motion.
As Kachik takes the handoff and takes it for about a gain of 3. Excuse me, Kanek on that handoff.
He's tackled number 15,
John Paul Wren on that tackle for Kapaun.
That last play, the offense, Hayes had a few changes. Originally, they were in I formation.
Yeah.
And they had one back to the side of the quarterback, and they have 2 split to the near side.
It's a false start on Hayes.
Penalty markers on the play.
Hayes had 2 men in motion there, which of course you can only have 1 before snap.
It looked very similar. The setup looked very similar to their last play.
And it looks like Garden City, now with 3rd and 6, is going to go trips to the far left with a single back formation, or excuse me, pistol formation. As Kapaun is showing blitz, and the blitz drops off as Hayes throws it to the near sideline to Kachik.
Pass is complete in the left flat to Jared Kanek.
Looks like he was tackled by Brandon Burr, who had a touchdown last week on a defensive
fumble recovery.
Yeah.
And it looks like we're going to a first down for Hayes.
With that completion, first down Indians.
Referees had discussed that for a second, but 1st and 10 now at Hayes' own 31-yard line. As a man is in motion once again. As they fake the handoff and then hand it off to
Number 2,
Roy Maroney.
Good tackle again by Kapaun's defense.
Still sides. Number 15, John Paul Wren. Gain of 2 yards on the play.
Looks
Second
like
down and
Hayes
8
is
for the
looking to
Indians.
their coach, Tony Crow, who used to coach at Great Bend. He's an alumni from Garden City, and there he led his team as quarterback to state.
Yeah, the state championship game, I believe, as they hand it off up the middle for a short gain of about 2 or 3.
Hand off to number 6, Dylan Fryman.
Now tonight, it seems
Number 52 with the Crusaders.
both teams will probably look to run a lot because the wind is quite high and it's very hard to throw in these conditions.
Yeah, as Hayes comes up on a 3rd and 5 situation. And I mean, like you said, I mean, it's also hard to catch the ball when your hands are cold. So, I mean,
That's true.
I think staying safe with the run game is going to be both teams' primary objective as Hayes comes out in pistol formation with 2 receivers split to the near sideline. As it's quarterback keeper, as looks like Jordan Dale on that rush, and he gets the first down after a gain of about 8. What are you going to say, Sophia?
Oh, Ethan Stolzstotz with the tackle right there. One of Kapaun's star players on our team, senior. He's
Yeah.
got quite a few offers from some community colleges.
As Garden City has one receiver on either sideline, as a flag is thrown pre-play, or pre-snap, excuse me.
Roy Maroney. Penalty flag on the field.
It seems like Hayes is just moving slow out there. What do you think, Gabe? It's probably just because of the cold.
I think
but
it's just because of the cold. I mean, I think as they get further into the drive and further into the game, I think it's going to, I mean, of course, you're going to be lethargic and kind of out of sync when you come to their first drive. But, I mean, I think once they get into the groove, it's going to only go up from there.
For sure.
As Hayes awaits the call from the coach.
Kapaun defense looking to the sidelines, too.
Hayes coming out in the same formation. One receiver on the very far sideline. As a handoff to
number 6,
Drilling. He takes it just up the middle for about a gain of 2. 3rd down now for Hayes.
Second and 13.
Dylan Drilling, as I mentioned earlier, is a commit to Tennessee to play baseball.
Or excuse me, it's a 2nd down because of that 1st down penalty. 2nd and 13 now for Hayes on their own 41-yard line. Handoff to Katrick, who takes it down the near sideline, breaks a few tackles, and is eventually brought down after a gain of about 7.
A little fake play there.
Yeah.
Fake the handoff and then toss it to Kanik.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of what I think they're going to do a lot of. I mean, maybe just running up the middle of the first couple plays and then trying to get something on the outside, get the person in space, or like even when they tried that just kind of lateral pass behind the line of scrimmage and try to make something happen as they come out in the pistol formation with one receiver on the far sideline, 2 on the near. As the quarterback takes the snap and keeps it for himself, and then at the last second tosses it to the running back, Maloney, who takes it to the near sideline, tackled before the 1st down marker.
Looks
but
like a flag was thrown on that play right there.
Looks like Maroney ran into the Kapaun sideline, and referee there drew a flag. Let's see what the call is. I mean, I have to assume this is on Kapaun because it's on their own sideline, but I mean, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Looks like it was on Hayes.
Yes, I mean, we couldn't really hear what the referee was saying for the call, but as it is a 15-yard penalty, it looks like it's a personal foul on Hayes, and they will have 3rd and 20.
Or actually, it looks like it's 4th and 20.
Or
Looking
sorry,
to
yes,
punt it.
4th and 20.
Luke Porter receiving for Kapaun.
You know, the Crusaders have been doing pretty well in the punt return game. Let's see what happens here, as it is a shorter punt, as it was received at around the 26-yard line, brought to about the 35.
Number 20, Luke Porter on the
Let's see where it's spotted.
Pretty decent field position. See what Kapaun can get out of it.
He's brought down by number 35, Hunter Harris. First down, Crusaders.
Crusaders are 1st and 10 now at their own 33-yard line.
Looks like Kai Coons is in starting as quarterback tonight.
I mean, just overall at first possession real fast for Hayes. I mean, that was good defense by Kapaun. And let's see if they can do on the offense end as well on their first possession. As Cale Curtis takes it to near sideline for about a 6 or 7. Let's see where the referee spots it, but that's a great play off the bat.
Cale Curtis had a huge game the other night against Garden City.
Yes, he had 94 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Just a phenomenal player.
2nd and 5 for the Crusaders.
We have one receiver split out on this near side.
As it is a handoff to Cale Curtis once again. This time for a shorter game, about 2.
He's tackled by number 22, Gavin Hazelhorst, and number 50, Gavin Nutting.
Kapaun
Kapaun now face a 3rd down with 4 yards to go at their own 39-yard line. Let's see if Kapaun can make something happen. Just come out in the I formation. Hand off to senior Doug Bates up the middle.
That was one of those trap plays Kapaun likes to run a lot. Sharts likes it a lot. It's just the quarterback quickly turns and hands it off to the tailback.
Yeah, and it looks like he's brought down about a yard short of the first down marker. Let's see what happens here as Kai comes down the same formation as he keeps for himself. Kai Coons on the quarterback sneak. Pushes forward for about a yard or 2. And that's good enough for the first down, it looks like.
Keeper by number 13, Kai Coons. First down, Crusaders.
Kai ran that play a few times the other night against Garden City, and it seemed to work really well to get that first down.
Yeah, as Kapaun comes down in the different formation now, pistol with Easton Stillhouse on the near sideline, Tiger Jones and Andrew Demille on the far, as Kai Coons takes a option, keeps for himself and runs forward for about 8 yards.
Kai Coons with the keeper.
The O-line did a good job blocking there. Kai could find the gap and gain quite a few yards.
Joe Ackerman now in at receiver on the far sideline.
Ethan Stolzot's on this near side.
As Kapaun comes down in the same formation, Kai takes the snap, fakes handoff to Austin Ruda. And is brought down after a gain of about 1. As Kapaun again faces a 3rd down.
It's 3rd down.
Kapaun's going back to the I formation now with Henry Thingvall on the near sideline out wide. As Coons hands off to Bates, who fights forward, but looks like he's going to be short of the first down marker.
They tried running that trap again on the right side. Seemed like Hayes' defense caught on.
Yeah, and I mean, it's very close. And it looks like it's going to be 3rd in inches now. Or 4th in inches, excuse me.
Refs are discussing.
Officials timeout for measurement.
The officials are taking a timeout to bring out the chains. Let's see if Kapaun got a first down here. Excuse me, they're not going to bring out the chains. They're just going to use, or no, they are. Excuse me. Check that. But I mean, Kapaun's moving pretty well here on this first possession. As the referees are bringing.
Yeah, they've gained about 15, 20 yards so far in this possession. Just trying to run the ball, keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're doing a lot of what Hayes was doing, you know, couple runs up the middle with a few outside runs thrown in there, get the runner into space, see what he can make happen. As Kapaun decides to go for it on 4th and inches, Kai Kuntz takes a snap on another quarterback sneak and gets enough yards for the first down.
Kai Kuntz with the quarterback keeper. First down.
As Kapaun will have a first down now at the Garden City 44-yard line, or Hayes 44-yard line.
I formation again.
Hand off to Cale Curtis, once again, who breaks a tackle, spins out of it, and goes to the near sideline for about a gain of 4.
Cale Curtis, the ball carrier for the Crusaders.
There's about 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
He's tackling number 20, Dalton Dale, and number 31, Brett Orr.
0-0.
As Kapaun comes out in the pistol formation, one back on either side of Kai Kuntz. As Kai decides to keep it for himself on the option play and fights forward for about a gain of 3. As Kapaun will face a third down once again. 3rd and 3 now for the Crusaders at Hayes' 38-yard line.
Kapaun still in the same formation with Henry Thangvall on this near side in an I formation.
As Cale Curtis takes up the middle, fights forward for enough yards for the first down. Let's see the referee spot it.
Cale Curtis, the ball carrier. Bill Scott.
Kapaun now 1st and 10 at what looks to be the Hayes 29-yard line. I mean, the Crusaders are in the red zone almost. I mean, they're doing pretty. As the ball comes out, as Hayes recovers the fumble, and they will now take over 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Looked to be a promising drive, Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very promising drive, but I mean, sometimes you hit a tough break. I think the Crusaders can overcome it. Defense, of course, is very great last drive. Let's see if they can keep that going. Hayes comes down the pistol formation with trips on the far sideline. This quarterback takes snap, fakes the handoff, looks down the middle, nearly picked off by Isaac Smits. He's going to want that one back.
He had a great interception against Garden City 2 weeks ago in the end zone, stopped Garden City from scoring.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's one of the few people on this team that can kick and pick.
Yeah.
So, as Hayes comes out in a different formation this time, looks to be a pistol once again. However, there is one receiver on either sideline. So the quarterback is sacked by multiple Crusaders.
It's absolutely swarmed by the
Braxton
Crusaders.
Powers was the first there, but it looks like he's brought down by a combination of Will Doolittle, George Trolley, and Doug Bates. I mean, 2 of our seniors and then 1 of our promising juniors. I mean, that's kind of what we want every play.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Hayes has 2 wide receivers on the far side, 1 on the near.
Still in the pistol formation in the backfield. This quarterback drops back, chased, picked off by Will Doolittle, who takes it down to the Hayes 10-yard line. Pressure brought by Braxton Powers.
Great interception by Will.
I mean, that was just amazing defensive play there. I mean, Braxton Powers came off that weak side, just forced the quarterback to throw off his back foot, and Will Doolittle was there for the pick.
Just shows how this team works entirely together. The offense had bad luck, fumbled the ball. The defense was like, don't worry about it, we'll get it back.
They were there to pick them up after their shortcomings, and as there's a flag on the play, let's see what this is. Jamino back in at quarterback for the Crusaders.
Less than a minute left in the first quarter.
as the Crusaders were moved towards the end zone now at the Hayes 5-yard line. Looks to be encroachment on the Hayes defense. As Jamil will take the snap and hand it off to Cale Curtis, who's tackled in the backfield for a loss of about 2. Excuse me.
Sorry, they run that play a lot. The quarterback will fake it to Doug, usually he's in, so the fullback, and then they'll hand it off to Cale, the tailback.
Yes, it's coming on the I formation once again as Jamil keeps for himself this time, rolling to the near sideline, and it's brought down at the Hayes 5-yard line once again. 3rd and goal now for Kapaun. Let's see if they can make something happen here.
Looking to punch it in.
You know, I mean, I think that the run game has been working for Kapaun. I mean, I think that if we throw in a few passes here, I mean, we might catch the defense off guard, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, usually Kapaun likes to just keep all that. That is the end of the first quarter.
That is the end of the first quarter. I mean, what we've seen so far, I mean, it's just a lot of running, of course, as you said earlier, because it's tough to throw in these conditions in the cold and the wind. But, I mean, I think the Crusaders, especially on the defensive side of the ball, have just been pretty fantastic so far. I mean, perfect defense, especially on that interception play. Pressure coming from our defensive line, especially Braxton Powers, and we'll do it, our linebacker there to catch it. But, I mean, and our secondary has been great.
Yeah.
Isaac Smith's able to break up a pass. And, I mean, we're really trying to force Hayes to have to run the ball because when they do, I mean, the defensive line is there to stop them.
Yeah, and our corners are keeping everything in front of them. So they really only have the option to run, and our defensive line is doing a great job of stopping them.
Yeah, and, I mean, of course, Kapaun did have that fumble on their first offensive drive, but defense was there to pick them up, and now they have 3rd and goal now when we come back to the second quarter. Kai Coons played good in the first half. Both running the ball and being able to do those read option plays. As we come back now, Jamino now in the game, of course. I mean, he's been pretty decent so far as he keeps for himself at the middle and fights in the end zone. Speaking of being pretty decent, Jamino fights in the end zone for his first touchdown of the game, and that brings the score now 6-0 Crusaders.
It's a great play, just quarterback keeper straight down the middle. Hayes probably wasn't expecting it, and it turned out good for Kapaun.
It's not Kai Coons. Isaac Smith's now on to kick the extra point for Kapaun. But yeah, I mean, I think that's touchdown along with this extra point, which is up and good. Might have been tipped there, but Isaac Smith was still able to get it over the crossbar. But, I mean, I think this touchdown might be able to kickstart our offense a little bit, get them some motivation and get that confidence up. And hopefully next time they come out, we get another touchdown and build this lead even more, as it is now 7-0 Kapaun at just the start of the second quarter.
And it keeps the defense having a lot of courage or to keep pushing, and they'll probably try to want to get a shutout again. I mean, that's the goal always.
That's always the goal.
And to score as many points as possible. So defense will be ready to go.
Yeah, I think, of course, Hayes is a very tough team. I don't know if we're going to be able to shut them out, but I think limiting them as much as possible. There's always the goal of holding a team under 10 or 14 points and being able to score more than that. I think that's always the goal. Kapaun's done pretty good with that so far this season. They haven't had a game under 20 points. And, I think this game is a very good matchup for them as we head into the playoffs next week.
It'll give them a taste of
real competition. Real
yeah.
competition. As Isaac Smith now on the kickoff for Kapaun. Line drive kick now. Muffed at around the 10-yard line once again. Recovered and breaks a tackle and is brought down around the Hayes 30-yard line.
Brandon Burr on the tackle there.
So far, Hayes has muffed both their kickoffs. And maybe Kapaun can take advantage of that later in the game. with maybe a squib or an onside kick maybe. But Hayes is now coming on the field once again. I formation with one receiver on either sideline. Keeping in their base defensive set. Thrown out, picked off once again by Jackson Powers.
It looked like it might have been tipped by Sam Nichols.
Amazing play by the defense once again for their second takeaway of the game.
Crusaders are back on offense, just like that.
Crusaders take over at the Hayes 32-yard line for 1st and 10. Jamino's still in a quarterback for Kapaun. I mean, once again, defense is playing perfect football right now. Setting up our offense once again on their opponent's side of the field. As Kapaun comes out in the I formation with 2 receivers on the far sideline. Joe Ackerman and Henry Thingvall, those 2 receivers, and Doug Bates and Cale Curtis, the 2 seniors in the backfield. As it is a handoff to Cale Curtis, who is lit up in the backfield by number 22, Gavin Hasselhorst, who of course is the K-State recruit. I mean, I think you see why he's recruited by K-State on that play, but I mean, Kapaun's been able to limit him this first quarter and first half. So I mean, let's see what happens.
It's really cool for these kids to get to play against these college commits and see how they hold up against college level.
Yeah. As Jamino drops back, looks deep for Will Ancio, who snags the ball at the 5-yard line.
Great catch by Will, his 6'6", 205-pound build.
Yeah, you know, I mean, the
catch.
defender's arm was up trying to get the ball, but I mean, Will's reach was just too high for him. Amazing catch for Will Ancio that brings Kapaun to 1st and goal now at the Hayes 5-yard line.
1st and goal from the 5 for the Crusaders.
And you know what, Glenn? Sharks loves that goal route for the tight ends when they're in tight, as we see again there, as there's a handoff to senior Doug Bates, who fights for about 2 yards and is brought down.
Yeah, the defense doesn't expect. Sharks has like the 2 wide receivers split out and the tight ends all go deep. And the corners and the safeties have to choose who to guard, and that obviously leaves someone open.
As Cam comes down the I formation once again, 1 receiver on the far sideline, handoff to senior Doug Bates once again. Or excuse me, fake handoff to Doug Bates. Jamino keeps for himself and fights forward for another 2 yards. That is 3rd and goal now for Kapaun at the Hayes 2-yard line.
Try to punch it in right here, I formation. Henry Thingvall all right.
Hand off to senior Doug Bates, who fights in the end zone for a touchdown.
Touchdown Crusaders.
I mean, like I said, that kickstart touchdown at the beginning of the 2nd quarter now leads to another touchdown for Kapaun in the same quarter. But
Doug had a pretty good game 2 weeks ago against Garden City. I believe he had 2 touchdowns. And he's another one of those players on our teams that's being highly recruited.
Yeah. As I just missed now on for the extra point to make it 14-0 Kapaun. As it is good. I mean, an injured player on the field for Hayes.
Maybe just a cramp or something.
Yeah, I think it's just a cramp. He's walking off by himself. I think he'll be all right. No need for an injury timeout or anything. But I mean, like we were talking about that go route, I mean, Sharks does a great job of setting the tight ends deep at times and keeping the wide receivers on short routes, which allows for a deeper look down the middle for the quarterback, but also like safety valves and ability for him to, Jamino or Kapaun, to just kind of dump it off.
Yeah, it really throws the defense off because Kapaun typically runs the ball, and the defense doesn't expect the tight ends to go deep.
If you're just now joining us, the score is 14-0, Kapaun Mt. Carmel with 9:53 left to go in the first half. As Ida Smith once again is on the kick for Kapaun. As Hayes now takes the field. And it looks like Hayes has sent a new return man back. Tucker Veach, one of those college recruits.
And Jaron Kanik, too. He also has offers from KU and K-State.
And I mean, I think this is like we were talking about how they had 2 muffs on their first kickoff attempt. Let's see what happens here. As it is fielded around the 4-yard line by Veach, who tries to break a tackle but is brought down by Austin Ruda, the running back.
Just shows how Kapaun has so many players, multi-sport athletes, but they also can play both ends of the field in football. Just really great, and Sharks does a great job with all the players.
Yeah. Kapaun defense now on the field. 2 takeaways for him so far in this game. Haven't allowed a score yet. Let's see what happens as Hayes comes down the pistol formation with trips out to the far sideline. Heading off to drilling up the middle, who's brought down after a very short gain by the Kapaun defensive line.
Big pile there.
Number 44, Jackson Powers.
Looks like Jackson Powers is there on the tackle. Second and 9 now for Hayes at their own 23-yard line. Pass now to Kachik, who goes to the far sideline and is brought down by Joe Ackerman and Braxton Powers.
Similar play they ran in the first quarter. Try to get a quick pass out.
Yeah, like we were talking about, just both sides of the ball showing the runs up the middle, and then either a pass down the middle trying to catch the defense off guard, or just a swing pass out to the far near sideline just to get the runner in space and try to get him to make something happen. As it is now 3rd down for Hayes with 4 yards to go.
2 wide receivers on this near side, 1 out far.
Pistol formation in the backfield. As quarterback rolls out to the near sideline, looks for his receiver and has him.
Pass is complete to Carson Kiefer.
And it looks like that's going to be good for the first down. Kiefer there for Hayes on the reception.
6 yards, gain on the play, good for the Indians. First down.
Hayes looking to Tony Crow for the play here.
Looks like they're going to stick with this 2 receiver on the far sideline, 1 on the near. As Kapaun blitzes and quickly rings on drilling about a gain of 4 on the play.
Drilling speed and just awareness was shown on that play. Tried to lunge forward and get as many yards as possible. Trying to do what he can for his team.
Yeah, I mean, Kapaun's done a great job containing him tonight. I mean, he hasn't had any very big gains or anything. I mean, especially when they run it at the middle. Kapaun's defensive line is there to stop him.
Trips out left.
As quarterback rolls out to the near sideline, quickly chased by the Kapaun defensive line, nearly picked off there by Nathan Fury, the sophomore.
Looks like Kapaun's defensive line was just all attacking the quarterback. He had nowhere to go.
And again, I mean, as we saw with Braxton Powers forcing the quarterback to throw off his back foot, I mean, that happened once again, and we nearly got another interception. I mean, I think that defensive pressure is going to be a key component in us winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
As Hayes now is another 3rd down, 3rd and 6 now at their own 38-yard line. As they have trips out to the far sideline. As a quick pass out to drilling. Hit hard by
big
sophomore
tackle there.
Nathan Fury.
That was a quick little wheel route, trying to throw the defense off.
And it looks like the referee is going to give the first down to Hayes. They'll have 1st and 10 now at their own 44-yard line. I mean, Nathan Fury, I mean, that was a big tackle by him.
That's huge.
And it looks like Hayes will come out in the pistol formation, 2 receivers on the far sideline. As Kapaun's looking like they're going to drop back into coverage. As Kanik takes the handoff. Pretty big gain there for about 8.
Great tackle by Brandon Burr. If he didn't stop them there, he would have got quite a few more yards.
Yeah,
possibly could have scored.
Looks like he had about 1 or 2 more men to beat, but Brandon Burr was down there able to make the stop. 6:45 now left to go in the first half. Kapaun up 14-0. As Hayes comes down the same formation, but 2 receivers on the near sideline this time as Kanik once again is in motion. And they run the same play, but it looks like this time the Kapaun defense is there to stop it behind the line of scrimmage for about a loss of 6.
Absolutely slaughtered. Nathan Fury initially slowed Kanik down. Then it looks like Braxton Powers and
George Trolley there on the tackle.
Now Tony Crow, their coach, led them to their first win in the playoffs last year in 25 years. So he's really helping this Hayes program succeed.
Yeah, I mean, especially with his college recruits that are going to be leaving next year. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job. As is a play action, look down the middle, broken up by Tiger Jones for Kapaun. I mean, I think Hayes just trying to get a quick pass to draw off the defense there. But that will not be good enough for the first down, as it'll be 4th and 7 now for Hayes as they look to punt.
Luke Porter in the backfield again, receiving for the Crusaders. Let's see if Porter can use his speed to gain a few yards here on this return.
Kiefer on the punt for Hayes. As is a punt on the near sideline. Great bounce there. That'll pin Kapaun back into their own 5-yard line. I mean, that was just an impressive punt altogether there.
Seemed like Kiefer had put a little spin on it to make it.
Yeah, like a little bit of knuckleball there.
Yeah. Tough position for Kapaun right here, but if they keep pounding the ball, they should be able to get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see more run plays now. We have the lead. We're trying to run a bit of clock here towards the end of the first half. As we do that, as Cale Curtis takes it down the near sideline. That was a big gain for Cale Curtis, about 20 yards on that play.
Probably one of the biggest gains we've had so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be a lot of what we see this game. Just a bunch of short gains leading to maybe leading to and setting up bigger plays for the offense. As Kai Coons hands it off to what looks like Doug Bates. Kai Coons now back in the game for Kapaun.
Okay, for the Crusaders, Cale Curtis. He's brought down by number 15, Gavin Nutting.
Crusaders looking to the sideline. See the play.
Looks like Kapaun's going to come down the I formation with 2 receivers on. As Coons hands it off to Bates, he was quickly brought down on the play, and that will bring up 3rd down for Kapaun.
Looked like that trap play again. Hayes' defense might be starting to catch on.
And number 40, Gavin Myers.
And it looks like we're going to have 3rd and 8 now for Kapaun.
Gavin Myers with that tackle there. He's got a lot of offers, as we said earlier, from K-State, Nebraska, Colorado, and Louisville.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the trap play, like you said, isn't working as well as Will Ancio looks to make the catch, but is picked off by Veach, excuse me, for Hayes. Kai Coons, had the play action pass look down the middle. It just wasn't there. I mean, he had double coverage on that play. Will Ancio tried to make the catch, but he just wasn't able to make anything happen.
Yeah, it seemed like the other defender was kind of pushing him away, and he couldn't turn back and grab that ball.
So Hayes are now 1st and 10 at Kapaun's 40-yard line. Let's see if the Kapaun defense can do something here.
Seems like the defense has basically been trading takeaways, 2 on each side, but Kapaun's been able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, as Kapaun now, it gives up a big play to Kanik. who is brought down at around the Kapaun 15-yard line. 25 yards on the play.
Ethan Stolzotz with the tackle.
23 yards, gain on the play.
First and
Good
10 now for Hayes at
First
the
down.
Kapaun 17-yard line, excuse me.
3:50 left in the second quarter.
I think Hayes is trying to get something going here before the first half ends as they hand it off to Molino.
Ball carriers number 6, Dylan Dreiling.
Kapaun's defense seemed to swarm Dreiling again.
44, Brandon Burr, and number 44,
Excuse me, drilling on that
Powers.
carry. Braxton Powers and
52
Brandon
yards
Burr
up
on
the
that
play,
stop.
2nd and 8.
2nd and 8 now for Hayes.
They have one receiver out on the far side with Andrew Domino as corner covering him.
As Hayes comes down the pistol formation once again, two backs in the backfield, excuse me, as Kanik gets the handoff and is brought down in the backfield by the Kapaun defensive line. Looks like Nathan Fury and George Tralia there on the stop. Under 3 minutes left to go in the first half now, as it brings up 3rd and 9 for Hayes. Let's see if they can make something happen here.
Players moving around a bit. Two wide receivers on this near side.
Yeah.
Kanik out far.
And I mean, I think Hayes has been doing that a lot, where they have two backs on the field at all times, and sometimes they move them out wide to act as a receiver. As Hayes takes a timeout.
Timeout, Indians.
That is their first timeout of the half. And I mean, Hayes kind of has to make something happen here. I mean, they don't have to, but I mean, they would like to get some momentum going into the second half.
Yeah, and Kapaun gets the ball to start the second half. So Hayes is probably they're really looking to score here to cut the lead, because Kapaun will get the ball at halftime, and they want to keep their lead as small as possible.
But I mean, on the other side of that, Kapaun is able to, if they do get a stop here and capitalize on that, they could possibly get the ball back with about 2 minutes to go, and try to make something happen before they go in the half, and then capitalize once again when they get the ball after halftime.
So this drive right here, depending on what Kapaun's defense does, it's really critical to how the rest of the game will go.
Yeah. As the Indians and Crusaders are back on the field now. Once again, 3rd and 9 now for the Indians. As Kanik once again is in motion, takes the handoff, fake handoff. And the quarterback will keep it for himself and is brought down at exactly the line of scrimmage.
Carries for the Indians.
Jordan Dale on that
Number 5, Will
rush.
and number 44, Jackson Powers.
Looks like Hayes' receivers are having
It's 4th down.
a heck of a time trying to get open, as the quarterback is trying to find some receivers, but he doesn't have anyone to throw to.
Yeah, and Jackson Powers on that last tackle. And it looks like Hayes is going to attempt a field goal now. This is a 27-yard field goal, it looks like. And it is no good. It might have been tipped by a Kapaun defender. Hard to tell, but regardless, score still stands 14-0 Kapaun with 1:29 left to go in the first half. And like we were talking about, Kapaun was able to get the stop. Let's see if they can do something here to go into halftime with a bigger lead than they already have.
Looks like Andrew Domino is in at quarterback. They might try to look to throw. Actually, the wind has died down a little bit, and so that might give them the opportunity to look to throw a little bit more this drive.
Yeah, and I mean, Domino's had better luck through the air than Kai Kuhn's has. Of course, he had that big reception with Will Ancio. As Cale Curtis takes a handoff and fights to the near sideline for bagging of 8.
Kapaun trying to move quickly, trying to get strategize here to get the best plays so they can possibly score.
excuse me, 4 yards on the play, not 8. 2nd and 6 now for the Crusaders at the Hayes 24-yard line. And it looks like Kapaun's just going to run out the clock here. You know, I mean, that's just a safe option. I mean, not trying to risk anything. Just taking their lead into the half as Jamino runs towards the near sideline for what looks like a first down.
Yeah, doesn't look like they're gonna score here.
First down, Crusaders.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just going to keep it on the ground, just run out the clock, regroup at halftime, and keep what they have going in the second half where they receive the ball. As the handoff is to Doug Bates. Excuse me, Kale Curtis on our senior on the play with the
Kale
carry.
getting quite a few runs this game.
3 yards on the play.
I mean, he's done pretty well. Of course, he hasn't had a touchdown yet. Jamino and Bates are the only ones with those. But
Yeah.
as the first half ends, I mean, he's played a big part, especially, you know, just running up the middle, pounding that defensive line, and then catching them either through the air with a big player, trying to pitch it out wide and get the runner in space and trying to make something happen that way.
So it is 14-0 at halftime, and we'll be back soon.
Yeah, we'll take a break. Join us here for the second half. Welcome back to Fort Hays University, home of the Indians. Kapaun Crusaders, of course, visiting and beating the Indians 14-0 so far. I mean, Kapaun's been playing perfect football once again on both sides of the football. I mean, maybe not perfect on the offensive side, but we've been able to overcome it so far with help from our great defense. Of course, defense with 2 takeaways, both on interceptions. Of course, there's that first interception. That was
Will Doolittle had that
Will
one.
Doolittle had that, but Braxton Powers was able to come off that weak side, pressure the quarterback and throwing out his back foot. And I mean, Will Doolittle once again there for that interception. And then
The Indians and the Crusaders now take the field. Andrew DeMito and Cale Curtis receiving for the Crusaders.
yes, as we will start here. Second half of Crusader football. High kick here, fielded around the 25-yard line of Kapaun, excuse me, and brought down around the 35-yard line. So Kapaun will have 1st and 10 now at their own 35-yard line.
Pretty solid position for the Crusaders. Let's see if they can extend the lead here. Kai Kuhn's in at quarterback this drive.
As Kapaun comes on the pistol formation this time, as Kai keeps it on the read option. Breaks down the near sideline for a big run. He's going to go to the end zone on that.
Touchdown, Kai Kuhn's.
Massive 65-yard run for Kai Kuhn's.
I mean,
No flags. Touchdown to open up the second half for the Crusaders.
they really threw the defense on that fake to Ruda.
Oh, excuse me. There is a flag on the play. Bringing the football back to Kapaun's own 35-yard line.
Sucks to see such a great play taken away, just like
Excuse
that.
me, Kapaun will be at their own 30-yard line now, it looks like. Or 29, excuse me. Looks like holding was the call on the play. $10 yards and still out of the foul.
2 receivers out far for the Crusaders, Henry Thangvall and Joe Ackerman.
In the backfield with the pistol formation. As Kuhns takes the snap once and keeps for himself once again. Breaks another tackle. Going down the near sideline once again. Doesn't get the 65-yard run he had earlier, but still good enough for what it looks like to be a first down. Let's see where the referee spot it.
Kai able to push forward there and gain the first down. Showing his strength he gets and all the players get from our weights coach, Rashad Daniels. Has a great program of getting these guys in shape and getting them stronger every week to play at the highest level they can.
As Kapaun comes out, pistol formation once again. Will Ancio and Ethan Stillsat's on the near sideline for Kapaun. Henry Thangvall on the far. Flags on the play as Kai Kuhns breaks more tackles and more tackles. Was brought down on the near sideline after about a gain of 2. Let's see if that stands. Chop block against the Crusaders, which will push them back what looks to be 10 yards.
What could have been 21-0 is still 14-0. Crusaders having some tough luck here. Kai trying to make some stuff happen by running the ball, but nothing seems to be working quite yet.
But, I mean, we're catching some tough breaks with the referees, but, I mean, at the same time, we caught some good breaks with them as well, so.
Sure, pretty good game so far. Shown better competition from Hayes, and Kapaun's been having to put up a fight.
As Kapaun comes down in the same formation. Hand off to Kale. Excuse me. Kai Kuhns brought down the backfield, not able to get the handoff off in time.
That's that veer play there where Kai's reading the defensive line and trying to see if he should keep it or hand off to Kale, and it seemed he should have given it to Kale.
Yes, and Hasselhorst, that state commit once again there on the tackle, as Kale Curtis motioned out wide as Kai looks down the middle for Will Ancio. Caught! Able to fight through the contact of Veach, and Will Ancio has another reception.
Will Ancio looks like a giant compared to Veach there.
And I mean, Will didn't even have to fight too much for that ball. He was just able to reach out and grab the ball.
Perfect throw
and
by
bring it
Kai.
in. As Cape Norway, 1st and 10 now at the Hayes 44-yard line. Kai Coons muffs the snap and is brought down the backfield by multiple Hayes defenders. The pocket kind of collapsed on that play, but let's see if the Crusaders can overcome that for 2nd down and 12.
If we go back to that play, that reception by Will Ancio, he's had 2 receptions now this game.
For
Gained
about
quite a few yards. He averages about 60 yards a game.
Yeah, I mean, he has about 50 yards this game already. I mean, he's put an impressive streak together as Kale Curtis tackle in the backfield. Ball comes out, but referee signaled he was down before the fumble. So Cape will now have a 3rd and what looks like 15, or 3rd and 16, excuse me.
Hayes came out to play this half. Cape is struggling.
Swing pass to Tiger Jones, who fights through a tackle and is pushed out of bounds at around the Hayes 40-yard line, which isn't good enough for the 1st down, however.
Tried to stay in there. Very close, but looks like Capen's going to have to punt.
Excuse me, the 45-yard line is where he was first stepped out of bounds. So Cape at 4th and 11. It looks like Isaac Smith's now on the punt for Capen.
Now you rarely see Capen punting.
Yeah.
Usually they go for it on 4th down.
But I mean, yeah, excuse me, what are you going to say?
Oh, but it's a 4th and 10, so makes sense that they're going to punt. But
yeah, as the punt is a high punt near sideline and bounces out of bounds at about the 22-yard line.
Punt goes out of bounds at the 21-yard line where the Indians will take over.
Capen's defense here, trying to see if they can capitalize here and have a little fire in their belly. Because as last half, when offense was struggling, defense came in, got the ball back, it just played great, kept Capen's spirits high.
Yeah, and I mean, even when they gave up some big plays, I mean, they allowed Hayes to get into the red zone once or twice, but both ended in failed opportunities. As the quarterback option goes to what looks like
Jordan with the keeper.
Dell, the quarterback, on the carry.
Capen's defense has a 4-man front and 3 linebackers and then 2 safeties and 2 corners here, trying to contain Hayes' offense.
Capen showing blitz here. Let's see what they do. As pressure does come. Throw down the middle, but broken up by Brandon Burr and Ethan Stillstouts.
Great defense by both of them. There's 2 wide receivers about in the same spot, but Brandon and Ethan didn't let theirs get the ball.
And once again, I mean, pretty much any time that Hayes tries to throw, the Capen defensive line is almost always there, putting pressure on him and forcing him to make bad throws.
Yeah, the secondary does a really good job of containing them.
Yeah,
too.
and they also do a great job capitalizing on the opportunities to intercept the ball. As the ball is out in the backfield, as Dale tries to make something happen, but is sacked by Tiger Jones and Doug Bates, as well as Nathan Fury on the sack.
Looks like 4th and 11.
Carson Kiefer in punt formation for the Indians.
And it looks like that brings up 4th and 11 for the Hayes Indians, as Kiefer is now on the punt.
Porter returning again for the Crusaders.
He's had a pretty good game. Hasn't allowed any muffs or anything, but hasn't had any major returns, as there's a high punt fielded at around the Capen 42-yard line, but the ball comes out and is recovered by
Looks
Isaac
like
Smits.
we might have jinxed that, Gabe.
Might jinx out a little bit, but I mean,
It's all right.
Isaac
we still got
Smits
the
there.
ball.
Isaac Smits there to recover it. Referee switching out the balls real fast here as Kapaun takes the field. Andrew Jamino now back in a quarterback for Kapaun as they come out in the I formation with one receiver on the far sideline. Jamino on the carry. Goes to the far sideline, flashes back into the middle, and fights forward for about 15 yards on the play.
He looked a little soft on that tackle there. Not gonna lie.
Looked a little soft. Could have broken that tackle.
A little weak. He should have broke that one. Take it in for the touchdown.
But I mean, alone it looks like, for a 25-yard gain, as Kapaun now is 1st and 10 at the Hayes 40-yard line. As the handoff to Kale Curtis gets about 1 or 2 yards on the play.
Yeah, Gavin Myers there again. Has multiple D1 offers. He's really been getting most of the tackles here for Hayes.
Yeah, and just real quick, with Jamino and Kai Kuhn switching out that dual quarterback system, as Kapaun comes out in the I formation, it's been working pretty good so far this season. As Jamino keeps for himself down the near sideline, fights forward to about the Hayes 31-yard line. But as I was saying, throughout the season we've seen Jamino kind of be more of a running quarterback, kind of a read option type quarterback, and Kai Kuhn's being more of that pocket passer, more air attack. But we've kind of seen that flip tonight.
Yeah.
As Jamino's thrown more through the air, and Kai Kuhn's has come in for Kapaun on those read option type plays. Kai, of course, has had some big plays through the air, but Jamino's been more doing that for Kapaun.
Yeah.
As Kapaun comes on the same formation, 2 receivers on the far sideline. As Kapaun hands off to senior Doug Bates.
That trap play there again.
On 3rd down.
And as you were saying earlier about the quarterbacks, both of them can really do everything. They can run, they can pass. They're really good at reading the defense, and it's hard for defenses to handle that when you have 2 quarterbacks who can do everything, and you don't know what to expect out of them.
As Kapaun comes out on the pistol formation on 1st down, and hand off to Doug Bates. Jamino keeps it for himself. Jamino is really good at faking those trap plays like you were talking about. Really good at faking those handoffs. We saw that last game against Garden City where he faked out even the refs and was copped out of a touchdown. As Jamino takes it for himself once again. Good block by Doug Bates as Jamino fights forward for about 3 yards on the play.
Now, that play right there, Jamino had the option. He could have originally handed off to Doug, but then he also had Kale.
Kale in the backfield.
And then he obviously took it that play, but there's so many options for the offense to try to make the best what they can.
As Kapaun was on the pistol formation, Ruda in the backfield, Tiger Jones on the far sideline, Ethan Stillstouts on the near. As Kapaun takes a timeout, their first of the half.
4:42 remaining in the 3rd quarter. It's still 14-0 the Crusaders.
So far, Kapaun's been nursing their healthy lead they built in the first half. Their first offensive drive kind of stalled out after a few penalties and just kind of failed passes. Just didn't work out.
Couldn't really get things going.
But, defense has stepped it up here. Hasn't allowed too much. And, both the offense drive and the defense drive ended in punts. And Kapaun is here 3rd and 10 on their second offensive drive of the half, looking to make something happen on the opponent's side of the field.
And defense is really stepping up here because in these conditions it's hard for the offense to get things going. But when they struggle, when they didn't score, defense is there to pick them up and get them the ball back.
Yeah. As Kapaun comes out in a different formation now with Tiger Jones in motion. Oh, and it's a pass picked off, however, by Veach once again as the 2nd pick of the game as he reverses his field and is brought down by the quarterback, Jamino. Yeah.
They ran that play against Pittsburgh, and it seemed to work out for them.
But this time, it looks like Tiger Jones isn't going to make the play. Of course, what happens there is Tiger Jones coming off that wide receiver route, or wide receiver quick route, just kind of takes it, looks for the pass downfield. He doesn't have a whole lot of other options, though. He can't really throw it away. He could have, but he was on his back foot, tried to get it to Ethan Stillsouth on that play. It just didn't work out. As Hayes comes down the I formation, 1st and 10. Hands it off to the running back Maloney, who takes it down the near or far sideline, and is chased down by, it looks like, Ethan Stillsouth.
Penalty marker on the play.
Penalty marker on the play, Liver. I mean, without Ethan Stillsouth on that play, that could have been a touchdown.
Yeah,
I mean, Maloney broke through the second level and was hugging that far sideline and didn't have very many people. But
looks like there was a flag on the
yeah,
play.
it looks like that's going to be holding on Hayes. So, I mean, regardless, the play doesn't really matter in the end, but Ethan Stillsouth's still there to make that big play for Kapaun. 1st and 20 now for Hayes.
Penalties seem to be getting in the way a little bit tonight, both for Kapaun and the Indians. Right there, that run was taken away, and earlier with Kai's 65-yard run, that was also taken away.
But, I mean, refs are just kind of trying to do their job.
Exactly.
And, I mean, it's been even on both sides of the ball, so can't really complain. As Hayes comes down the pistol formation once again.
Kapaun's defense there to swarm.
And that's a short gain on the play of about 4. That brings up 2nd down, and it looks like 16 as there's an injured Hayes player on the field.
Braxton Powers there with the tackle. He's had a pretty big game today. He's been getting a lot of tackles and really showing out tonight for his last regular season game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that just our whole defensive line has been kind of the MVP of this game. I mean, they've been there on the run game, limiting runs up the middle to about 1 or 2 yards per play. And, I mean, on pass plays, I mean, we've had 2 interceptions purely on them, applying pressure to the quarterback and then making him have a bad read or a bad throw. And then, I mean, just overall, the defensive line has been great. I mean, I don't know how I can say that otherwise. I mean, secondary's been great as well. Of course, they're the ones that get the interceptions, but the defensive line has been kind of a highlight for Kapaun so far.
It's really hard for the offense to play against a defensive line like Kapaun. So they could do so many things. There's so much pressure on the offense. It's really hard to get things going.
Yeah. As the Hayes player is still not up, so we will talk about kind of Kapaun's offensive like drives and what they've done so far this game. I mean,
looking to run a lot, but then also as a big play in the second quarter, that pass to Will Ancio, the offense throws the defense off by changing it up, putting in those vert routes, and hitting the tight end.
Yeah, I mean, Ancio has caught 2 passes on those go routes like you were talking about. And when he comes out of that tight end spot and just kind of heads up the middle and quarterback is there to throw it to him. As the Hayes player is walking off on his own now.
Looks like Hayes has 2 wide receivers on this near side.
And it looks like Kiefer is going to be the one receiver on the far. As Hayes comes out on the pistol once again. Quarterback looks, but is blocked by Will Doolittle at the line of scrimmage.
It's a second big play by Doolittle tonight. He had that interception earlier, that forced interception by Braxton, and then he just tipped it right there.
I mean, I think that's the second or maybe third tip pass by the Kapaun defense. I mean, they've kind of been, especially those linebackers, have been able to, read the quarterback where he's throwing, jump up, and deflect the pass.
And they're really just showing their athleticism. Like Will Doolittle, he's a star at track. Multi-sport athletes here on Kapaun's team.
As Hayes comes down the same formation, quarterback keeps for himself once again. Dale looks and finds Kiefer, but
Pass attempt for
The
Carson
pass is dropped mainly because of Ethan Stosas and Nathan Fury hitting Kiefer on that reception, making the ball pop out. And I mean, once again, there's our secondary, able to just kind of apply pressure to the receivers, and even when they catch the ball, able to pop the ball out.
For the Crusaders, Carson Kiefer in punt formation for the Indians.
Similar scene here as the last drive. The Indians are looking to punt again. Luke Porter back receiving for Kapaun.
Kiefer on the punt once again for Hayes. Kapaun is looking to return here out on a short punt, short punt, as it bounces a few times and goes out around the Kapaun 47-yard line.
Good field position here for Kapaun.
Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
Andrew Domino announced quarterback. Henry Thingvall and Joe Ackerman out on the far side.
Yes. And I mean, Kapaun's defense is, of course, setting up their offense once again. Let's see what they can do. This is coming on the I formation.
Looking to Sharts, hopefully trying to throw off the defense here.
I think they were trying to catch them off sides there a little bit as the pitch goes to Austin Ruda up the middle.
Pitch goes to number 25, Austin Ruda.
Austin Ruda's had a few great games this year. The junior, he had 3 touchdowns against Dodge City, and I believe he had 3 against Pittsburgh too. Just a really great player. He's small but mighty.
Yeah, I mean, he's able to, get into open space and kind of break a few tackles, make a few men miss, and just kind of extend the play. As Kapaun comes out once again with Jamino under center. Takes the snap, handoff to Doug Bates, who takes it forward for about a gain of 5 on the play.
There's that trap play again, this time really quick. It almost seemed as Jamino was just trying to roll out, but he quickly handed it off to Doug.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, like we were talking about, that's what that read option kind of system is made for. Just allowing for the quarterback to have multiple options. As Jamino keeps it for himself on this play, but is hit hard in the backfield. Able to hold on to the ball, however, so Kapaun will now face a 4th down. Excuse me, a 3rd down.
Both teams struggling to get offense going here. I know it's hard on days like this with the weather after halftime to get in the groove.
Yeah, I mean, Kapaun's been kind of stalling out, but I mean, I think if we have one of those like touchdowns like we did in the first half and get the offense kickstarted, as I'm sorry, I was right the first time, it's 4th down now as Isaac Smith is on the punt. As the punt bounces around the 20 and pins Hayes at their own 1-yard line, it looks like. Amazing punt there by Isaac Smith.
Great hustle by the Crusaders to run down there and stop the ball before it went into the end zone.
And I don't even know if it needed the down. I mean, it was looking like it was going to stall out right around the half-yard line, but of course the Kapaun special teams there to pin them back deep. Let's see what Hayes decides to do here, as they have 1st and 10 now.
Here would be a good opportunity for the Crusaders to get a safety. Yeah, I mean, you rarely see that in high school football.
But I mean,
or just football in general. It's a rare occasion, but
yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, we have more linebackers on the field than we usually do, so I mean, maybe they're going to try to do a blitz kind of system, but let's see what they decide to do. As the blitz does come, as quarterback is tackled in the end zone for the safety.
There is the safety.
Multiple Kapaun defenders there on the tackle.
It looked like the snap was a little low. The quarterback struggled to get it, and Crusaders just swarmed. Yeah,
I mean, I think the play just kind of fell apart, like you said, in the backfield. And, yeah, Kapaun Crusaders are able to capitalize, as that brings the score now 14-16, and the Crusaders will, of course, return. 16-0.
You're good, Gabe.
It's cold out here. I'm sorry. It's hard to focus. But Kapaun, of course, will return the safety punt.
1:06 left in this 3rd quarter here. Kapaun finally getting a score on the scoreboard, but
in the
something
second half.
unusual.
I mean, that's the first score of the second half for either team. And, I mean, Hayes still yet to score in the game at all. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, Tony Crow, their coach, trying to get him going because they have a lot of potential on this team, all those D1 recruits, and they just got to work together.
I've never seen a kickoff on a safety, but we'll see what happens here.
Andrew Jamino and back and returning for Kapaun.
As Cale Curtis fields the punt around the Kapaun 4-yard line and breaks a few tackles and still on his feet, jukes one man out and returns it for the touchdown. Touchdown on the safety punt for Kapaun.
That is 8 points in less than 20 seconds right there for the Crusaders. That's impressive.
That's a big 8-point swing like you're talking about. Hopefully a 9-point swing as Isaac Smith comes down for the extra point. I mean, Cale Curtis just refused to go down there, breaking about 4 tackles around the midfield area and then making one man miss around the 20 and just walking into the end zone.
His speed was shown there, and also Kapaun's ability to block ahead to get the runners available to go score that touchdown.
Yeah, and they have also avoided, blocking the back penalties and holding penalties that may have brought that play back. Is Isaac Smith's now on the kick. As he snaps his muffled a bit, Austin Ruda fumbles his way into the end zone for the 2-point conversion.
Looks like there was a fake right there.
A 10-point swing now for Kapaun Mt. Carmel in the last minute.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Of course, that started with the safety by the Kapaun defense. Cale Curtis able to score on the safety punt return. And then Austin Ruda on the failed PAT snap, able to recover and just fumble in the end zone.
This just shows how Kapaun can just really work together, have each other's back. It started all off with Kapaun having to punt from their offense. Didn't get nothing going. As you said, turned into the safety, turned into the return, turned into the 2-point conversion. Good work.
Just amazing plays by all special teams, offense, and defense. It's just all 3 phases of the football there.
I'm sure Hayes is thrown in the loop right now. They probably nothing like that has ever happened to them before.
I've never seen a 10-point swing in football.
Me either. But they'll try to capitalize here with 54 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
With the score now 24-0, Kapaun Mt. Carmel. And Isaac Smith with a beautiful kick out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Isaac Smith's having one heck of a game.
Fans getting a little excited over there on Kapaun's side. Defense out here again, see what they can do, if they could keep holding the Hayes Indians. Yeah,
and now with the very healthy Kapaun lead, I think Kapaun's going to just kind of look to limit the Hayes offense. And then, when they get the ball back, kind of pound the clock, rush the ball a lot more, and just kind of nurse this lead.
Hayes with one receiver out far, one near. I formation.
Pistol formation. As they put 2 men in motion. As Dale keeps for himself on the quarterback keeper. But is brought down in the backfield, it looks like, for a loss of 1.
They're still probably just their minds are just spinning, and Hayes probably is just trying to refocus and just try to get whatever they can back.
Yeah, it's Jackson Powers and John Paul Raymond on that stop for Kapaun.
Same formation as last play.
As quarterback hands off to Dreiling, and he heads towards the far sideline for about gain of 1 on the play.
Not much there for the Indians. I find it interesting how they always start off with the tailback and the fullback behind the quarterback, but then they always move them. They're always changing.
Yeah, and
always trying to throw the defense off.
Yeah, and I mean that like kind of I formation that splits off into the pistol. I mean that kind of allows them to either switch which side the back is on, kind of move the backs around, so it's kind of harder for the defense to read, like you said. As that is the end of the third quarter. Once again, the score 24-0, Kapaun Mt Carmel. Still very cold out.
Yeah, here, Hayes, Kansas, in Ellis County. It's quite a small town. Gabe and I got to see most of it. It's actually pretty decently kept, pretty nice population, about 21,000. About a 2.5 hour drive from Wichita, so far out here to the northwest.
As Kapaun and Hayes take on the field once again.
Hayes trying to see what they can do here in the fourth quarter.
I mean, they really need to get something going here if they want to try to make a comeback.
Yeah, I know. As we said in the beginning of this game right here is crucial for both teams to get a good seed in the playoffs. And they're both 5-1. They're both some of the best teams in the state for 5A. And it's just been a pretty good matchup, but Hayes still yet to score.
As he's awaiting the placement from the refs and now ready to get the fourth quarter underway. As the quarterback looks to the near sideline, broken up by Andrew Jamino and Ethan Stosouts.
The Hayes coaches and fans looking for a flag there, didn't get one.
I mean, I really don't think that was pass interference. I mean, I think Andrew Jamino and the receiver kind of both stumbled there and fell to the ground, but I don't think there was any unnecessary contact.
Good call by the refs there.
Carson Kiefer in punt formation for the Indians, back deep for the Crusaders.
Luke Porter once again back to return for Kapaun as that brings up fourth down for the Indians. Kiefer now takes a snap and punts it away. Short punt. Luke Porter decides to let it bounce, and that ends up being a good decision as Crusaders have a great field position starting at their own 30-yard line.
Defense once again stopping the Indians. The Indians have had to punt 4 or 5 times this game, and offense has been able to capitalize on that. Andrew Jamino out at quarterback.
And it looks like Kapaun's going to come out in a pistol formation with 2 receivers on the far sideline. Austin Ruda gets the handoff. Fights forward. Ball comes out, but he was down well before the fumble. About a gain of 6 on the play.
Kapaun looking to run some clock down here. They obviously have the lead. There's no point in trying to force anything or turn the ball over. And they're just looking to sharts. And,
for the play call.
Yeah.
And I mean, 2nd and 5 now for the Crusaders. And I mean, like I said, I mean, they're just going to look to run the ball here, not going to risk it all. As they hand it off to Bates, who is tackled around the line of scrimmage. Very short gain on the play.
Hayes' line there.
Holding steady.
Led by Gavin Hasselhorst,
who has had a very good game from his defensive end spot. I mean, he's had 1 or 2 sacks. I mean, he's been able to but able to get in the backfield on a lot of running plays and stop the Kapaun running backs. But
yeah, him and Gavin Myers have been doing a great job of trying to contain Kapaun's runs.
But I mean, like we were talking about, I mean, those runs up the middle followed by maybe a toss out wide or a pass down the middle usually catches them off guard. Allowing for a big Kapaun gain as Austin Ruda is brought down in the backfield for about a loss of 2 on the play. As that'll bring up 4th down for the Crusaders. As Isaac Smith's once again on the kick. And I think this is what we're going to see for the majority of the time we have left here, where Kapaun's just going to kind of run up the middle, and then if it comes up to 4th down, we're just going to punt it away, hoping to pin them back deep.
And they're trying not to force anything because they don't want players getting hurt going into playoffs next week.
As Kanik is the return on the play, as ball comes out, and the Kapaun Crusaders have one more takeaway.
Crusaders sideline going crazy. This game has been just one of the craziest turn of events. Like every drive, you never know what to expect.
And I mean, it's just been, I think, since about midway through the 3rd quarter. I mean, the Indians have kind of spiraled out of control. I mean, beginning with that safety and then allowing, of course, that 10-point swing. I mean, since then they just haven't really looked in sync with themselves and just haven't really been able to get anything going, as Canada kind of just wasn't even tackling on that play. He just kind of lost the ball as Andrew Jamino is brought down the backfield by Hasselhorst. That Kansas State commit we keep talking about.
As I said earlier, it's interesting to see how these high school players are holding up against these college commits.
Yeah.
Like, these players are college level.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a overall great experience for these guys, just to be able to kind of see what competition is like on the next level.
Mm-hmm. And prepare them for the next level, as a lot of them are starting to receive more and more offers.
As Kapaun comes down the I formation once again. Handing out to Bates on the play. Brought down after about a gain of 1. 2nd and 13 now for the Crusaders.
Crusaders not really looking to get anything going. Just running the ball.
I mean, we never know. I mean, we could see maybe a pass on this play trying to convert on the 3rd and 14 now.
Yeah, you never know what Sharts has up his sleeve.
As Kapaun has 2 receivers on the far sideline as they come down the I formation. Sharts decides to take a timeout here for his 3rd down play.
8:16 remaining in the game. It's 24-0. The Crusaders still quite cold out. Just getting colder and colder. I'm sure that also affects the players and the teams. I mean, weather really shouldn't affect how you play, but in outside sports it can, because it's just harder to move, harder to make things happen in windy and colder weather.
Yeah, and I mean, even us up here can feel like your hands get kind of frigid, so it makes it a lot harder to pass the ball. I mean, and maybe that might have been what happened to Kanik. I mean, you kind of just aren't able to hold on to things as tight, so I mean, maybe that's why he fumbled on that punt return.
Yeah.
But Kapaun comes out now after taking that timeout to discuss for his 3rd down play.
They could be going for a pass play here because they have Tiger Jones on this near side and 2 on the far.
As they come on the pistol formation with Rude on the side of Andrew Jamino. As he takes snap, looks down to the far sideline. Ethan Stillsatz on the recovery.
Great catch by Ethan Stillsatz. I mean, we saw that coming, Gabe.
Yeah.
We knew it was going to be a pass. With Sharts calling the timeout, I mean, what else would have done?
I mean, again, we saw those go routes that Sharts loves to call. Will Ancio very close to Stillsatz on that play, so it kind of had Veach choosing one of those receivers to cover, and Jamil was able to pick that up. Veach chose Will Ancio, and then Andrew Jamil was able to throw to Ethan Stillsatz on the outside.
Yeah, obviously a smart read, because the defense is probably concerned about Will. He's had 2 receptions this game, and so that leaves Ethan open.
As Jamil keeps for himself on the play, on the 1st down play, but he's brought down in the backfield about a loss of 1 or 2.
I bet you Kapaun on this drive is probably looking to score, as they have better field position. And I don't know if score differences affects the playoffs, but it possibly could. So
yeah,
Kapaun's
score differential. Score differential is a big factor in, especially this kind of weird season. Weird season we're dealing with. I mean, it looks like we're going to have playoff percentage, or not playoff, win percentage be the deciding factor, as Andrew Meal has a quarterback keeper for about 6 yards. But it looks like playoff seeding is going to be determined by a win percentage among 5A teams.
And it looks like they're going to have the full playoffs, all 32 teams. At least of right now. You never know, things could change. But
Yeah.
hopefully for these guys out here, especially those seniors, they get the full opportunity to have a chance to go to state.
As Kapaun comes on the I formation once again, 2 receivers on the far sideline. Jimmy Undercenter takes a snap, hands off to Doug Bates, who fights forward about a gain of 3 on the play, but that's not good enough to convert on 3rd down. As that will bring up 4th down. Offense is staying on the field right now. Let's see if that stands with Sharts.
4th down, Kapaun.
Kapaun on a 4th down, 60% of the time they throw, 40% they run. So we could be looking at a pass here, and especially since it's about 7 yards to the 1st down.
Yeah, and it looks like Kapaun's going to go for it here. I mean, they don't have a whole lot to lose here, because, I mean, they, of course, have that healthy lead as Sharts takes his final timeout of the game to discuss this 4th down play. And
they're probably looking for the touchdown on this one. Maybe a trick play again, as they tried earlier with Tiger. That didn't go so well, but who knows? I mean, Sharts has a lot of tricks. He could pull out anything.
We could see like a double reverse or something, you know, trying to catch defense off guard. But, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, I think we might just go through the air on one of our, like, go-route plays, or, I mean, maybe some, like, post routes. Because, I mean, that's what Sharts usually calls. And, I mean, it's been working so far for us this season.
And it's hard for the defense to choose who to guard. All our receivers have shown they're capable of catching it, of making good plays, and it's just hard for the defense to handle.
As Kapaun comes out once again after that timeout. Tiger Jones and Joe Ackerman on the near sideline for Kapaun.
Looks like Ethan Solsat's on the far side.
As they come down the pistol formation, Austin Ruda on the side of Andrew Domino as he takes a snap. Looks to the near sideline for Tiger Jones. Tries to make the diving catch, but it goes right through his arms. And that will give Hayes a 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Hayes right here will try to look to score. Again, they haven't had much luck this half, but with 5 minutes and 41 seconds left, they'll try to get what they can.
And, I mean, I think this drive is pretty crucial for Kapaun to put the nail in the coffin. Because, I mean, Kapaun's been taking about 3 or 4 minutes per possession. So, I mean, with about 6 minutes left to go in the game, I mean, if Kapaun can get a stop here, as Dreiling is able to get a big gain for Hayes. As there's a flag on the play.
A face mask there by Isaac Schmitz. Looked like he tried to grab him, but so they might get, yeah.
Face mask on Isaac Schmitz, as you said. Looks like Hayes will now be on the Kapaun side of the field for 1st and 10.
Oh, they're getting up. They are trying to hurry here.
I mean, they kind of have to, and I mean, that's good and bad for them. But like right there, I mean, when you hurry up, I mean that causes like kind of just confusion. I mean, that can lead to like errors.
Yeah,
or
I mean, obviously, if they want any chance to get this game closer, they gotta go. But honestly, Kapaun's defense they're ready all the time.
And I mean, that's
no matter
like
the pace of the play.
And they've been able to capitalize on those plays where Hayes just kind of gets thrown off sync and makes an error. As quarterback is being pressured heavily, Tiger Jones and George Tralia.
Looks like there's a flag on the play.
It looks like unnecessary roughness on Nathan Fury. Let's see what the referee says.
Refs discussing here.
Personal foul,
Roughing the passer called on Nathan Fury as quarterback threw the ball and was running out of bounds, but Nathan Fury was already in motion, so he kind of hit the quarterback after he threw the ball.
Roughing the passer is one of those calls. I mean, never is the lineman, is the defense trying to hit the quarterback on purpose. I mean, rarely. And it's just happened. Their momentum's going, and they just end up hitting him.
It's just a rough flag to call, but Nathan Freed called for on that play, so that brings 1st and 10 now for the Indians. As they go for a pass play at the middle, is broken up by Braxton Powers, it looks like. Or no, Doug Bates.
Might have been Ethan Stolzot's behind him. Just all the defense working together. And you see there again, the line rushed the quarterback.
Yeah.
So he had to get rid of it as quick as possible, and the secondary was there.
As Hayes goes with a run to Dreiling to the near sideline. Brought down around the line of scrimmage, though, for a very short gain.
Dreiling seeming to get most of these carries tonight for the Hayes Indians.
Yeah, you know, Dreiling usually being put in a quarterback, but it looks like this week they're just keeping him at running back and just getting him like in the space like we talked about rather than setting him up the middle. As
Hayes
the Indians
trips.
come on 3rd down with trips out left, so one receiver on the near sideline. As he passes, or the snap is muffled, and the quarterback recovers it and stumbles forward about a gain of 3 on the play, which brings up 4th down for the Indians.
You've seen a lot of muffled snaps here today for the Indians. It's just they're really struggling, probably not as focused
Like we
as the turn of events.
Yeah, like we talked about, they kind of spiraled out of control after that safety. As they come 4th and 6 now, this is a very crucial play. This could be the nail in the coffin for the Indians if Kevin can get a stop here. As Kachik makes a big catch for the Indians, which brings them into the Kapaun 10-yard line.
Jaron Canick's athleticism shown there, reaching out to grab the ball. Great catch by him. But Kapaun's secondary was able to keep him from scoring.
1st and goal now for the Indians with just under 4 minutes to go now left in the game. As the Indians come out in the pistol formation.
2 wide receivers out far.
Kapaun showing blitz. As Dale is able to make a few-man miss. Was quickly brought down after a bad gain of 3 or 4.
And Dale did that there by change of speed. He just took his time waiting to read the gaps and was able to get a few yards.
Like you talked about that change of direction, was able to make a few-man miss.
See if Kapaun's defense can hold him.
And it looks like Hasselhorst in at fullback for the Indians with Dreiling in at QB. Wildcat formation, which works and gets the Indians into the end zone with a little bit of over 3 minutes left to play in the game. Touchdown for the Indians.
Looked like Gavin or Hasselhorst was there blocking for him, his strong presence, and Dreiling was able to take it in.
Yeah, you know, I kind of thought they might do like a fridge type or Dontari Poe kind of handoff up the middle with one of their defensive line, but it doesn't look like they're going to do that. As the Indians are going to go for it here, they kind of have to with the 24-point deficit they're in. Because, I mean, in order to at least tie the game, I mean, they're going to have to get 3 touchdowns with 3 2-point conversions. And the first of which is right now.
Yeah, let's see if they can capitalize here.
As Dreiling takes a snap once again and is tackled in the backfield by multiple Kapaun defenders.
That play they had the Gavins, Gavin Meyer and Gavin Hasselhorst there, hoping to block for Dreiling, but just didn't seem to work. Kapaun's defense was prepared.
Yeah, I mean, the score is now 6-24. Kapaun Crusaders up. I mean, Kapaun could just finish the game here. And so, I mean, it's been a perfect game for Kapaun. Defensively, I mean, you couldn't ask for more. I mean, yes, they allowed a touchdown here late, but it's kind of meaningless at this point.
And Hayes there with the first touchdown of the WAC conference scored against Kapaun this year. That's pretty impressive. Kapaun's been a dominant force in this WAC conference, but Hayes was able to score against them tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal for these WAC schools. as Kapaun now
I would
expecting
assume,
an onside kick.
Yeah, onside kick here from the Indians.
One man back to return, but it looks like they have 10 men up on the hands team.
Notice they bring Jamino up when he's usually back because they're prepared for the onside.
As the onside kick does come, and it is touched what appears to be before the 10-yard mark. But we'll see what the referees say.
Yeah, looks like Kanik kind of tipped it forward there.
As it stands, Kapaun has the ball. But yes, it looks like Kanik would touch the ball before the 10-yard mark, which means Kapaun will have a 1st and 10 at the Hayes 48-yard line.
And right now, they're just going to kill as much time as possible right here.
And I mean, most of their drives take at least 3 minutes, so I mean, they have enough like gas in the tank to just run out the whole game.
Probably if they could get 1 first down this drive, they should be able to run it out.
As the toss to Cale Curtis gets them 5 yards, and the clock continues to roll.
Cale Curtis, the ball carrier.
Yeah, I mean, this Kapaun offense wasn't as productive as other games where we scored 56 points. So, I mean, they got the job done, scoring 14 points of their own. And then defense was able to score 2 on that safety. And then special teams, of course, on that punt return touchdown. Just all 3 phases of the game for Kapaun Mt. Carmel.
Showing how Kapaun just works together well. All aspects of the game coming together.
As Jamil tosses it to Cale Curtis once again, who fights forward with enough yardage for the 1st down.
2 minutes roughly remaining in the game now. Kapaun's still trying to run down the clock. They got the 1st down there.
And Gavin Nutty. 1st down, Kapaun.
It's been a good game here, Gabe.
Yeah. And I mean, just a lot of like unexpected things that we don't usually get to see in a football game. But, I mean, it just makes it that much more interesting as Kapaun winds down these final minutes to secure the W.
And Hayes' defense, as you said earlier, Kapaun didn't get as many points as usual.
As Jamil simply just dives down with the football, presumably just to run the clock.
Still running down the clock, 2nd down here.
So Kapaun just, again, will enter the standings presumably in the top 4 going into the playoffs. I mean, this was a big win as far as standings go for Kapaun.
6-1 here after tonight.
And, you know, I mean, we knew going into this game that both these teams were fighting for one of those top 4 spots. So, I mean, it was either Kapaun was going to be in the top 4 as Cale Curtis takes this run up the middle. But, I mean, Kapaun was either going to be in one of those top 4 spots or be in the bottom 4. Presumably, like, either one of the 7 or 8 seeds or one of the 1 or 2 seeds. So, I mean, we'll see next week, but Kapaun's going to be looking pretty good going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, they really have just been a dominant force, led by Weston Sharts, who used to coach at West. Also, as I mentioned earlier, Wade's coach, Rashad Daniels.
As Kapaun enters the victory formation and kneels down, which will be the end of the Kapaun-Hayes game.
Great win by Kapaun tonight. Showed up. Should be a nice drive home with the victory here.
Yeah, long drive home, but I'm just glad we're going to get out of the cold. As it is, wind is somehow picked up from the start of the game.
Just a tad.
And, I mean, Kapaun's happy to go away from this game with a W and head into next week, the playoffs, looking to secure more along the way. Final score here, 24-6, Kapaun Crusaders winning. And from Gabe Bryanbach and Sophia Jamino, we just like to say goodnight and join us next week for the playoffs.
Good night.